Hello everyone, I'm here with part 3 of this random anything goes glue book. I'm not even sure what it's called. It's just my glue therapy pages. Basically, that's all it is. So I have added 1 or 2 pieces to each of the pages, and I am getting ready to do some more of the medium and then add some small detailed kind of things. I'm still going to do the same thing, just add one something to the page and then move on. So I'm not planning and I'm not, doing all that stuff, searching for something that'll fit in that spot or whatever. I'm just grabbing something and gluing it down is what I'm really doing. So I wanted to show you the pages. They are kind of plain. Another thing that I did want to mention was I am not worried about color scheme. I have been that way in the past, but for this kind of project, I am not worrying about if it matches the page. I want to do all kinds of different colors, and that way when I put these pages together in a book, the colors it's not a color scheme on the page, so they'll blend better together when they're put together. Another thing is some of these things were too long, too big for the page. Instead of stopping and cutting and making sure it was the right size, I just let it go over the edge, and I will trim those little spots later, or tear them off or whatever. So some of these only have 2 and some of them have 3 little bits on. I was trying to mix it up a little bit and make it a little bit more random so that they're not all exactly the same. You'll notice I have added a few what most people would call a focal point. I kind of wanted some of the focal points or some of the things that are focal point like to be in the background, to put things over them so that when the page is finished, there will be things on top of those, blended into the page a little bit more maybe. But on the most part, I'm really not concerned about focal points or any of that kind of thing. I did kind of mix some of those kinds of things in, so if I grabbed them, I would use them for the larger little bits. Here's a bit of napkin, because I did want some stuff, things, focal points in the backgrounds. So that's why I did that. And I tried real hard, I think I did a pretty good job, of ignoring the fact that it was a focal point and just glue it down and not worry about what I was going to put with it later or whatever. I found it, I grabbed it, found a place for it, glued it down. Again, I am not really worried about the finished product. The whole, there's a little piece of plastic there. The whole thing is just some glue therapy. I want to spend some time just gluing stuff down to the pages. So not worried about if there's a focal point, where it's supposed to be, if it's noticeable or any of that stuff. I just grabbed pieces of paper and glued them down. I had used a bunch of different kinds of pages. I thought that I would be leaving some white space, and I am in some places, but in a lot of others, I am kind of filling up everything. Like I said, I had planned on leaving white space, but on some of the pages, it's just not happening, and that's okay. Whatever happens, happens. I'm not that concerned about it. I just was surprised. I did go ahead and really made some interesting pages so that I could leave white space. And then I'm ended up covering it all up. Oh well. I think that's about all I wanted to say about my process. What I'm doing is I've got my little baskets full of small, medium, large. I've just about used all of the large bits. So I'm down to medium and the small. I hadn't been using any of the small, and now I will be going back and adding more bits to these pages using medium and small. But like I said, only one piece I'm adding to a page and then moving on. And that really has been helping me not plan out what else am I going to put on the page, what am I going to do with this. I'm not worried about what I'm going to do with. I'm just gluing that piece of paper down and then moving on and not thinking about it. It's going, the second part went a little bit slower than the first part because at some point I was trying to mix up the pages, and I kept grabbing the same one that I'd already put a third piece on, and I wanted there to be some pages that only had 2 pieces and some pages that had 3, and I was trying to mix everything up and it wasn't mixing very well, so I was spending time searching for the page that didn't have a third piece. And then I need to stop that too. At this point, I think what I'm going to do is just go page by page, add something or not add something to each of the 4 pages, and then go on to the next page and decide if I'm going to add something or not, grab something and do it that way, instead of searching for something that needs a third piece. That really did take up more time that needed to be taken up. So the second part took a little bit longer than the first part did, just because I was searching and scrambling and sorting through stuff. So anyway, so that is it so far. There's plenty of space to add more things, so I'm looking forward to adding more stuff. And I probably will I'll probably go through the pages maybe 2 more times before I come back with another update, just so that they're really different. But you can see they are turning out extremely random and not too planned out. They are random and unexpected, and and I'm not even going to judge. They are what they are. I don't know. I don't care what they look like. It has been really relaxing to just glue pieces of paper down. So I am going to continue on with that and just have fun with it and relax with it. And I did have to glue some little bits on the fold. Some of these papers were a little thin and they needed some reinforcement. This is one of them that I'm going to have to glue something down because it's starting to rip. But that's not any big deal. I'll just find something that's big enough to put there to reinforce that fold. And then move on. So that's what I am doing so far. More mediums, and I'm looking forward to the little small details. That's where the fun stuff is, I think. And that's when things will start happening on the pages, and it's the beginning of the end for this project. Thanks for watching.